Well, good afternoon. My name is Clive McCarthy, and I am the president of GRACE, which is the Global Resource Access Coalition Enterprise. It is a global nonprofit that focuses on connecting resources across the planet and providing education and empowerment and resources to those that don't have access. And I also get the privilege of serving on the National African American Insurance Association as a board of directors, where we empower African American uh, professionals in the insurance industry. So glad to be here.
Thank you very much.
So my name is Andre Williams, and I have a true passion for financial literacy because early in my business journey, I seen the need for it. So in the last full calendar year we had, which was 2022, 42% of businesses went out of business simply because of lack of funding, and 29% of businesses reported a problem with cash flow. So cash flow issues. That's over 70% of business. And that's where my business comes in. Experience Results, we help business owners get business funding through various banking products and also through grants. And like I said, I have a true passion for financial literacy. And when I heard those things, understanding and being in the space, it made me this year, I started a podcast and a nonprofit centered around getting that message out to people early.
Beautiful. Thank you. Good job.
My name is Brandon Payne. I'm the proud owner of Pain Point Media. It's a video marketing company based out of Florida. And pretty much we create some of the most amazing video content. And then we put that in different places strategically in someone's business, helping them either save time, make more money, and ultimately sell their products and services. I'm obsessed with what I do. I love helping. I am a video marketing master. I also own the AI Business Coach, which I help business owners and entrepreneurs leverage very simple to use AI tools so they can spend less time critical thinking on things and leverage AI to do a lot of the work for them. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited about today's panel.
Thank you. I'm excited for this panel. I'm sitting here with some very intelligent men. I love having conversations with each and every one of you every single time when we meet and we talk. It's just passionate and we learn more. I learn more, and it helps me to dig deep, excavate, because I'm learning from you, and it helps me to just look at things in a different way. So it helps me to dig deep and see, oh my goodness, I haven't thought of it this way. So I appreciate having you as part of the masterminds that help me to grow. Now, saying all of that, given the increase in emphasis on diversity and inclusivity, have stereotypes or expectations about male leadership ever affected your business relationships? That's a lot.
Actually, it has. I remember early in my career, I was asked if I was successful because I was black, or if there was some sort of preferential treatment because I was black as an entrepreneur. And I learned the response of no, I'm successful in spite of being black, because it forced me to be more creative. And it's also forced me to seek out organizations and professional associations that where you find more people of color that collaborated resources, like NIA, which is the National African American Insurance Association, where they pool their resources in the financial services, because money is something our community does not have a very good relationship with and does not understand fully how it works. And so that is one of the key tenets of that organization, which has grown over the last 26 years. So definitely, that has helped me grow, because there's a room full. Just last week, there were 800 professionals of color in one building. Didn't know that at that time there were 800 of us in the industry.
Right.
So by aligning with things like that, it helps deal with that loneliness and that isolation.
I really appreciate that point, and I wanted you to expand a little bit about people thinking that you are successful because you got a hand up. I really want you guys to tackle that because I didn't know that was a thing. That as black men, that was an issue that you had to deal with. Do you find yourself having to deal with that also?
No, my perspective is, and I think this is going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of different perspectives based off of, I think, locations matter. Um, Living in Tampa, the entrepreneurship has been completely different versus where I live now on the other coast of Florida. I pride in staying away from politics because I grew up overseas as a military kid, England and Japan. So I know nothing about politics. I don't know the difference between red, white, and blue. And I sound almost ignorant to the fact in some aspects when it comes to that. But the further I've been over the years going down this entrepreneur and business owner landscape, that starts to play a role whether I want it to or not. So you'll find yourselves at, you keep hearing me say, different rooms. You'll be at a yacht club one day on somebody's yacht and boat thinking it's innocent, it's a networking event, but it's actually positioning you there to be part of a political party. So it's really mind blowing. The further you grow and you get into rooms and like even working in the construction field with certain clients, I learn about real estate developers. So these are some of the people that are making the decisions before a property or hotel is even up. And when you start to go down those rabbit holes and get in those rooms, you realize like everybody is positioning or has kind of an agenda. So you have to navigate that entire landscape. And that's not things that are talked about enough. There's not really a lot of people that I can even reach out to talk to because it's not relatable for everybody. If you go to, you're doing a whole business in California, that might not be the same issue. Where I live in a very, like I just said, a different area where there's usually one of me in the room. Some 36-year-old black man out here crushing it. It's one of me in a lot of these rooms. So when I see other people that look like me, it's like, oh my gosh, hey. If it's not, that's a whole other thing that's not really talked about. I don't want to go too deep, but sometimes it's standoffish because it's kind of like, hey, what are you doing in my territory? You see that all the time. I'm back in New York for this little brief moment, and I'm forgetting where I am because I forgot I can't head nod to everybody I pass on the street because they're like, no, what do you want from me? So that rabbit hole can go deep.
Oh wow.
Just to kind of add on it a little bit from my personal experience, I think it's all about who you are. So I don't allow people to put people in boxes in my company because I am a young black man. Like a lot of people don't think I should be where I am. And if I let people put me in boxes, if I don't let people put me in boxes, I don't put other people in boxes. I don't allow people to put people in my company or people that I work with in boxes because regardless of what you look like, who you are, if you're good at what you're good at, that's all that should matter in a company, in an organization, in a team. And that's what we're here for, to accomplish a goal. And I think if you center the mission around in your company or organization or team around accomplishing the goal and say, we don't care what you look like, if you help us get here, I feel like,
You,
situation.
you bring up a good point. One of the things that weighs on the black professional male is what's called tokenism, because they'll invite you into the room and you're expected to speak for the entire culture. Okay? No, I can only speak for me and my experience, and I'm not going to carry that weight. And it, I understand everybody is on their own journey to learn if they're open. But at the same time, that's an added stressor amongst all the other stressors that we have to deal with, like lack of access to capital, lack of access to mentors, etc. But that is one of the most prevalent things, to your point about being on the yacht. It's like you're there, so yes, there are photo ops, yes, there are different, you know, things that can be done for the narrative. But at the same time, people come up and expect you to have the answer to solve racism and disparities and speak for the entire diaspora. And that's not a fair thing to put on a person either way.
Or you're there thinking that you're getting networking with others to get ideas for your business, but then you realize, oh, this is political. Oh, I need to choose a side. Oh, okay.
And they'll tell you, you have to choose a side. No. Back to your point, I don't have to choose a side. But when somebody's telling you have to choose a side, just think about the confusion in your head. Like, I thought we were here to just, like, what?
And that's where the code switching comes in, because as a black man, for those of you who don't know what code switching is like, you know, when you're talking to the fellas, you're talking one way, but then when you're at work, all of a sudden you're very proper, you're very articulate, you're you know, it's not what's up, you know, it's code switching, and that's an expectation. Um, and so that comes from that whole aspect, and that is another thing where we tend to lose our own identity, or it's at risk because you code switch so much, you forget who you really are. And so this whole, since the pandemic, of people really reflecting, and at first we thought it was the great resignation, but we realized in retrospect it's actually the great reset, where people are resetting their priorities, they're resetting what they're willing to work for, they're resetting things that are important to them because they've experienced so much trauma. And as a community, our community has experienced trauma from the day we were born. And so now they're not willing to put up with a lot of things. And that was actually the premise of the book that I wrote. So,
Just
yes.
to piggyback off of the code switch part, I think that's interesting. One of the things that's really helped me over the journey, I think a lot of us struggle with this, especially like I have tattoos. So I have a tattoo on the forearm, I have a tattoo over here, got tattoos on my chest. So one of the things I'm most proud of that I learned over time is being able to step in any room regardless. I'll sometimes show up to these events with a black t-shirt, tattoos out, still my chains on, and still be myself. Now that took time to get to that place. And I wish everybody can get there, but it takes time to continue to step in those rooms as you are. The reason why I'm able to do that is the confidence from the people that I work with, the deals that I close, knowing who the mayor is, and these different aspects. And I just try to carry that over from city to city. So also, I don't know how it works more or less, but try to start to, as you close deals, as you continue to step into that authority space or as an authority in your space, continue to bring with who you are with you, if that makes any sense to anybody. Because it's a big thing. I think you don't always want to have to code switch or put on an appearance. You want to be able to be yourself no matter where you are. As I tell you, authenticity speaks volumes, and we're able to do that and just step in. Like I step in the yacht club now with my t-shirt, whatever, and like it's normal, and it feels that is the best feeling in the world. I'm telling you. It's like I wish somebody would say something to me because I promise you, I know more people in this room than half of you do, and that's a different movement. That's a different energy. That's a different swag. So,
but that is, I hear, after you've built relationships, after you've had experience, after you've proven yourself, so that you're not the new person coming out like you're gonna take me as I am because they don't know you.
So here's the catch. There's only catch with that, and that's why I said one really point I want to touch on was I take that same energy and I transfer it to other locations.
Yeah.
So I don't care what room we go into in New York, or I go to your place in Cali, or it's in Philippines. I carry that same energy now every single place because I know I'm supposed to be there, and I know if you have, back to what I said before, you have a conversation with me, as soon as you start hearing what's coming out of my mouth, and I'm empowering you and I'm educating you and teaching you things, no matter what level you're on, you're like, oh man, something they hear you. People can hear it. Mm-hmm. People can hear it.
Yeah.
And that's establishing your own value.
Yes.
Because no one will value you more than you will value yourself. So you have to know the value you bring. And when you get rooted in that value, it changes the way you walk. It changes the way you talk. It even changes the way you think. Because now you're not in the box. And that's what I love about Gen Alpha and Gen Z. They don't have a box. They weren't born in a box. They see no boundaries. Sometimes that's not really exactly. But and that's why I love mentoring them, because with my experience through growing out of the box and their courage, their tenacity, their vigor, and their drive, they will accomplish in their generations 5 times more than we did in the last 5 generations. So that's what's really empowering on the young men coming up in the industry.
Thank you so much. You've made a lot of great points. But I wanted to get your point on how do you seek mentorship? Listening to, it's so important for men to hear men talk because you are growing yourself, you're a young man, and you're growing your business. And so, how do you find balance and who do you choose to mentor you? Having heard all of these issues that comes with masking or code talking and
100%. 100%.
and also being authentic and knowing when to be yourself.
100%. So, to answer the first part of the question, which is how I find mentors, it kind of go back to something I said earlier, which is it's about finding people you can relate to. Because it's one thing to just see somebody doing it, and then it's another to see somebody who look like you doing it.
Yes.
Like the first introduction I got into the financial literacy space, when I was really like, okay, I can take it to another level. I can be way better than the person I am today. It was an event in Memphis, a financial literacy event, and one of the people who was putting on the event was making at that time like $100,000 a month, and I had never seen anybody do that, first of all. And then when I got to the room and he looked like me, first of all, just kind of being honest, I'm like, 100K a month. I seen he was human. I said, okay, I can do that. And then I seen him walk, talk, and sound like me. I said, okay, now I can definitely do it. So the first thing is I try to find people I relate to. And then the second part, which, could you repeat the last part of the question you said?
I think
Find
it was
mentors.
finding mentors that can help you handle the issues that they were talking about, like codes.
Switching,
Code
100%.
switching.
Okay, so yeah, to answer the second part of that question,
And not being so authentic initially.
100%. So to answer the second part of that question, it's the same way. Like when I find people who I can relate to, like I see how they manage those situations. Like one of the mentors that I watch and listen to now is him 500. And like regardless of what room he's in, he's going to be him. So if regardless if everybody's in a suit, tie, it can be that type of event. If you want to walk in with the buzz down and the chains on, that's what he's gonna do. But like you said, when you walk in the rooms and you can give the value, people don't really care what you look like. So that's one of the things that I try to make most prevalent, like knowing what I'm talking about, being secure in the things that I'm saying, like making sure I'm not talking about stuff that I'm not doing, don't know anything about. So that way, whether I'm in a room of 12-year-olds or I'm in a room with government, you know what I mean, government officials, like as long as I'm talking about things that I'm doing, things that I know about, like I never worry about how somebody else perceives it.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for making those points and sharing your perspectives. I appreciate you. Anything you want to add before we close? Because this is go on and on because I love hearing you just address things that I had no clue exist for men, you know?
You know, one of the things when it comes to, because you hear a lot of people saying, find a mentor, find a sponsor, and you tapped on it, and it's something that I wanted to make sure that our audience don't miss. It's especially now on social media, everybody's a guru on everything. Okay, everybody's this coach, everybody's that coach. Show me your receipts. Okay, show me. Let me see you do it. Don't get a mentor that hasn't done it. If you find yourself someone who has walked in the path that you aspire to walk through to achieve a goal that you aspire to achieve to, then they can really tell you, don't step there, don't step there. I got the t-shirt for that one. And so you can get further ahead in less time.
I have a great quote that I think adds on it and goes with it perfectly. Like a leader is somebody who first goes the way, then shows the way. Like it's hard to tell somebody and go somewhere that you haven't been, because how do you know the pothole is down the street if you've never been down the street?
Word. Beautiful, man. Thank you.
Just say ending on that part. As you're going into quotes, one of the favorite quotes I always use and I always say to kind of tie this all together is amateurs talk tactics, but professionals talk strategy. I'll say that again. Amateurs talk tactics, but professionals talk strategy. So when you have a strategy, no matter what you're going through, no matter where you're trying to go, no matter what the landscape seems like, no matter what cards you've been dealt, put a strategy together. Whether that's closing the organizations that are the businesses as a client, from there, all the cookies crumble. That was just my strategy that I used lately. I closed the organization like the Home Builders Contractors Association, then every 600 people under them would fall, all these other businesses. Or close the Palm Bay Chamber or Melbourne Chamber, all the other businesses fall. That's using strategy over tactics. A lot of us use tactics in life. I'll give you another example. There's someone in my community, same thing. He's in his 40s, black male, awesome. We're close friends. He just has a different strategy. He gets on all the boards. We hear about this all. Get on the board. Get on the board. I don't want to be on your board. I'm not showing up once a week. That's not in my lifestyle. I got things to do. I might be on vacation. I'm not playing the board game. So his strategy, he's on every board. A lot of boards are given to us right now as a group that's diverse. They need people on the board to make more boards diverse. So that's one strategy that you could use to get on boards. I'm not getting on a board, but my strategy that's different, same people, two different routes, is I'm going to know everybody on the board, and I'm going to make people that are on the board my clients. And then the cookies crumble. So remember, there's not just one way. All work works. Myron says that all the time. All work works. Just figure out a path or strategy. Be strategic about everything you do. Spend more time thinking. And the last thing I'll do with that is a 4-to-1 ratio, I always say. So every hour that you use consuming information, there needs to be 4 hours producing. Because information is going to get you to that next step. That's all it is. You just don't have the information yet or the person. So information, find the right people, and that's it. And I promise you literally can't lose.
And the most important and the most valuable investment is in yourself.
Yes. You can, take it because this is your panel. You are speaking to other men, and as much as I'm here to moderate, I can't speak into them as well as you guys can because you're living.
So with that, it's very important because a lot of times you'll hear someone say, well, I'm not paying that person that. I'm not paying that person that. Well, the biggest lie that's ever been told is time is
money.
And that is a myth. Because, and that's one of the things I learned from my mentor. Because, for example, if I were to offer you $1 million today, you can go across the street and cash it, and it's good. Okay, it's real. Would you accept it? Would you take it?
Well, yes. Unless, I want to know what I had to do for it.
No strings. Yes or no? Would you take it?
Yeah.
And then 5 seconds later, you die. Would you still take that check?
Probably not.
Exactly. Because time is infinitely more valuable than money. And once we as a community grasp that concept, we will stop exchanging a whole lot of our time for a little bit of someone else's money, building someone else's dream and someone else's legacy.
Okay. Thank you so much. We have learned in this short space of time so many valuable gems that we can take, implement in our lives, and pass it on to the next generation, especially knowing that it's coming from men that look like our children. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being in this panel.
Thank you for having me.